What's going on, guys? Basic here. This is the first part in a 6-part series of videos I'm putting together where I go through and demonstrate how to beat all of the staff ghosts on 150cc and 200cc without using any mushrooms. I'll have one video for all the Nitro Tracks, Retro Tracks, and bonus tracks on each of 150cc and 200cc. In addition to the no mushroom restriction, I'm trying to keep these runs as beginner friendly as possible, so I'm not going to be using any advanced strategies whatsoever, just clean driving and tight lines. The reason that I'm putting this little mini-series together is that I get asked for track-specific tutorials on pretty much every one of the videos I put out, and I wanted to provide a nice little baseline run for every track in the game without needing to make people wait for a fully fleshed out tutorial. So in contrast to the basic training series, which tends to get really far into the weeds on every single track, this series, which I'm calling Conquering the Staff Ghost, is going to feature minimal commentary and editing, but should hopefully be a good resource for more casual players of the game. So welcome to Conquering the Staff Ghosts Part 1, where we're going to show you how to beat all the staff ghosts in the Nitro Tracks on 150cc without using any mushrooms. Nitro Tracks refer to all of the non-DLC tracks that are brand new to the series, which includes everything from Mushroom, Flower, Star, and Special Cups. We're going to kick things off with Mario Kart Stadium and finish up with Rainbow Road. Hope you all enjoy. I put a poll up on my YouTube channel, and it seems like a lot of you would prefer some sort of live commentary over text annotations, so I'm actually re-uploading this video, but I'll keep the original version up for posterity. The way the commentary is going to work for these videos is that I'm going to just give whatever information you're going to need at the start of each track, and then just keep quiet for the rest of the video so that you can focus on the lines that I'm taking. The first thing we should mention is the build that I'm using. I'm using Waluigi, Standard Bike, Rollers, and Parachute. I'm using this build for two reasons. First off, it only uses parts that are available to you at the start of the game. Second, it's equivalent stat-wise to the Waluigi, Wild Wiggler, Azure Rollers, and Paper Glider build that you're probably pretty used to seeing by now. Now about the track. In Mario Kart Stadium, there's not a lot to specifically point out. You get most of your coins on lap 1, but you're going to have to get the rest on lap 2. Other than that, the only noteworthy thing to point out about the lines is how close I tend to stay to the edge of the track. On almost every turn, I'm more or less on top of the red and white track divider, so you want to try and do that as well if you can. Another general piece of advice is to try and release your mini turbos as soon as you get them. For the hairpin turn at the end of the lap, you want to take this turn from the outside to get a tight line. But that's about it for Mario Kart Stadium. I'll talk to you guys in Water Park. Moving on to Water Park, the only thing to mention about this track is that in the long loop-de-loop turn, you want to basically be hanging out on top of the lights on the left-hand side of the track as closely as you can. The way to do this is after starting your left drift, don't do anything with the joystick. This is called a neutral drift, and it's how I take most of the turns in this video. Once you're about to run into the wall, just tap right a little bit to fix your line, and then rinse and repeat until you build up an Ultra Mini Turbo. And that's it for Water Park. I will see you guys in Sweet Sweet Canyon. Sweet Sweet Canyon now. Make sure to keep taking those turns as tight as possible. Notice, for example, how I take the first left-hand turn on each lap. The glider in Sweet Sweet Canyon is actually a cannon glider, and generally we want to try and get down to the track as soon as we can. On this track, it's done by holding up and right on the joystick. Keep holding the drift button in midair so that when you land, you'll immediately start drifting, and then around the wide turn, just do what you did on Water Park with the neutral drifting with minor corrections to avoid getting into the off-road. And that's it for Sweet Sweet Canyon. I'll see you guys in Thwomp Ruins. Moving on to Thwomp Ruins, the first thing I'll point out is that after coming out of the first tunnel, I take the left-hand path. You actually don't want to do this because it's a lot slower than going into the water, but I just do it to show you that with practice, you can kind of do whatever you want and still beat the staff coast without too much hassle. I show you the proper path on lap 2. For the shortcut at the end of the lap, after starting your left drift, you basically just hold right on the joystick until your kart is directly in line with the shortcut path, and that's it. On lap 3, I take a super tight line in the first tunnel section and go around the left-hand side of the wheel, but if you're not comfortable with that, just drift around the right-hand side. No big deal. See you guys in Mario Kart Circuit. Not much to talk about with Mario Kart Circuit. For the 2 Piranha Plant turns, pay attention to whether or not they're out. If they are, then stay away from the edges of the track, but otherwise just take your lines as tightly as you possibly can. In this video I take almost all of my turns with neutral drifts with only minor adjustments to correct my lines. This isn't the fastest way to do this, but it's definitely the easiest. Alright, Toad Harbor coming up next. There's a decent amount to talk about with this course. The two boost ramps can be kind of a pain to hit properly when you're just starting out, so if you don't want to do that, just do a hard right drift around the first turn to build up a super mini turbo. I show you how to do the split path in 3 different ways. On lap 1, I take the slow but easy path. On lap 2, I take the fast path but trick off the orange boost ramp. On lap 3, I take the first path and then hop on top of the boost ramp to drift off of it. This is the fastest way to do this, but it's a bit tricky to learn. After that, take the wide trolley turn as tightly as possible with a combination of neutral and left inputs on the joystick. Grab some coins here if you're feeling brave, but it's not a requirement. Finally, the right-hand side of the ending straightaway is faster than the left-hand side, but requires you to do some tricks that may be more difficult to execute. That's it for Toad Harbor though. I will see you in Twisted Mansion. For Twisted Mansion, it doesn't matter too much which path you take at the start. I really can't reiterate enough though, don't forget to take those lines as tightly as possible. Pay attention to the head movement when I'm doing my turns, by the way, because it'll show you what direction I'm pressing on the joystick. For the underwater hairpin turn, for example, I start a right drift and then immediately hold left to widen my drift angle. You'll notice this in Waluigi's head movement. The only other thing to point out is that after coming out of the glider, you want to be on the right-hand side of the track to take the turn as tightly as possible. Next up will be Shy Guy Falls. Alright, just so we're clear here, the build here is not good at all. It's more of a meme than anything else, and I only use it to show you that you can basically do whatever you want and still beat the staff coast without too many problems. But yeah, in general, if you're just starting out, you might as well stick with a decent build. So when we get back to Sunshine Airport, we'll be switching back to Waluigi again. There's really not a lot to talk about with this track. In the upper waterfall section, hang out in the middle of the track since the boost pads mostly spawn in the middle and right-hand sides. And when going off the glider, hold down on the joystick to increase your airtime so that you can land on the upper path. For the two ramps, similar to Toad Harbor, it's faster to drift off the second one, which is what I do on laps 2 and 3, but again, it can be a bit tricky to learn, so on lap 1 I show you the easier way. And that's going to be it for this course. I'm going to pack my bags and meet you all at the airport. Done with Flower Cup now, and halfway through the video. Sunshine Airport's a pretty straightforward track. Don't trick off the second orange boost ramp because it's slow. The first glider on this track is another cannon glider, so you know what to do. Hold up and right on the joystick to get back on the track as quickly as possible. If you're feeling brave, experiment with tight drift angles to help you build up an ultra mini turbo before the second glider, but other than that, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in Dolphin Shoals. Dolphin Shoals really doesn't have that much going on in it. When you come up to the pipe section, it's fastest to go to the right side, but taking the middle path is a lot easier. For the eel, I suggest checking out my basic training video to see how to consistently get at least 3 tricks off his back, but long story short, after getting on top of the eel, just drive straight and wait for the spine to go underneath you instead of trying to go out of your way to get the tricks. But that's it for that. Electrodrome coming up next. This is a really straightforward course. Pay close attention to the lines I take. The basic idea is to try and get as close to the edge of the track as you can on every single turn. You can get within 5 or 6 seconds of the world record purely by having good lines and hitting the mushroom cut well, which again is something I go over how to do in my basic training video. The only other thing to mention is that on the turn before the glider, the way to build up the Ultra Mini Turbo is to start a right drift and then neutral drift until the pink path meets the purple dance floor looking part of the path, and then hold a hard right. Other than that, not much else to mention, so I'll see you in Mount Wario. Mount Wario is probably the second hardest course that we're going to cover in this video. Well, maybe the third. For section 1, after the first ramp, try and approach the turn from the outside so that you can take a tighter line and trick off the second ramp. After that, the shortcut at the end of the section isn't super hard to learn, and pretty much everyone who plays this track online knows how to do it. Just pay attention to where the little bit of snow is jutting out of the track. The only real notable thing about section 2 is the tree section. Here's basically how I do it in this video. When coming up to the mushroom shortcut with the glider, just hop right before the off-road and keep hopping so that you don't lose speed. Trick off the glider and then you can basically fly over the first set of logs. After that, the idea is to stay in the middle of the track since it's less densely populated with trees, but other than that, you've just got to practice. After that is section 3, and there's not a lot going on there other than the little hilly section. You can easily get 5 tricks if you just shake your controller the whole way down. But that's it. For the next track, we are heading skyward. Cloudtop Cruise isn't so bad if you're not going for any high-level strategies. The bounce pad trick timing can be a bit annoying, but that's it really. If you're hurting for coins, take a wide line and grab the 3 coins before going onto the ship instead of the single coin like I do. At the cannon glider, hold up and left on the joystick to get down to the track quickly and just take whatever boost pads you can. For the shortcut at the end of the track, it can be a bit difficult to learn and you don't absolutely need it to beat the staff ghost, but if you can figure it out, then you should be able to claim victory pretty easily. I also go over how to do this for my basic training video for this course, so check it out if you're interested. Bone Dry Dunes is really difficult, but beyond telling you to just watch how I take my lines, there's unfortunately not much advice I have to offer. Now one good thing is that the Staff Ghost also kind of messes it up on this track, which will make the job of conquering it a lot easier. Before going onto the bridge after the split path section, try and grab the 3 coins if you can, but if you've watched my basic training video for this course, you'll know that this is literally the most difficult part of the track, so don't feel obligated. You can pick up whatever coins you're missing from the turn after the glider anyway. Speaking of that turn, try and get back to the track as soon as you can so that you can immediately start drifting. That's how I take the turn so tightly. After this, we're moving on to, well, not a difficult course, but definitely a super annoying one. welcome to hell. This course is awful because there are so many moving pieces and it's just impossible to keep track of them all. If you're on any sort of pace that's comparable to what I'm doing here, then for the first spike ball you can basically just go right on lap 1, left on lap 2, and right on lap 3. The fireballs are easy enough to react to, and for the big Bowser, just go to the path that he's either just about to hit or has just hit. Other than that though, the track itself isn't super crazy, just crappy. Alright, finishing it up with a difficult, yet in my opinion, really fun course. To take the 2 tight turns at the start of the lap, it's basically like this. For the first turn, start wide and then hold a hard right drift. Once you're going straight up the next path, release, start a left drift, and then do hard left while grabbing the coins if you can. This is the last time I'm going to mention this, but also notice how tightly I take the turn after the glider. Really, when it comes down to it, 99% of beating the staff ghosts is just taking tight lines. The only other thing to mention about this course is the path switching shortcut that I do. It's actually a lot easier than it looks. After the cannon glider, right drift around the first turn and then start another right drift just before getting to the spinny boost thing. Immediately hold left to widen your drift angle and try and hit that spinning boost thing if you can. Then just keep holding a hard left on the joystick until you land. This saves about a second on each lap the way that I do it, and pretty much everyone who plays online knows how to do it, so I definitely recommend taking the time to learn it. But yeah, congratulations, once you've conquered this staff ghost, you're done with the Nitro Tracks staff ghosts on 150cc. I'll be dropping the Retro Track 150cc video in a couple of days, so hope you all look forward to that. Take it easy and I'll see you in the next video.